Wow, music is good again.
I was a ghost, I was alone.
It seems like popular music in 2025 was waiting for the autumn season to really take off. Granted, that's way longer than it usually does, but I'm not going to complain because the music is just really good now. Up until this point, 2025 was having one of the strangest trajectories of any year I can remember. We went from amazing 2024 leftovers in December, to chart stagnation in the spring, to a bunch of rubbish in the summer, and yet now it seems like 2025's music scene has finally come to life. A lot of the 2024 leftovers have now left the top 20, and what's come to replace them is definitely adding a new shake-up that the music scene now desperately needs. 2025 has done hiding, and now it's shining, so let's see how it's done as we take a look at what this season sounds like. We're counting down!
Knocking you out like a lullaby. Hear that sound ringing in your mind. Better sit down for the show, cause I'm gonna show you how it's done. How it's done.
I hate you, 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 I hate you.
Previously on Slam Rule, vocal chemistry whatsoever, but I really could not care less that she is on this song. She is clearly only here because Morgan Wallen needs a number one of his new album, and for no other reason whatsoever. I really hope this song falls off the charts as soon as possible. I don't want this song to be in the year-end top 20. Well, at least Blue Strips is gone, so this is now the worst song in the top 20.
She said, you don't want this heart, boy, it's already broke. Told me everything she touched just goes up in smoke.
If you watched my last top 20 ranking, you will know that I spent ages going on and on about how bad Morgan Wallen's music is, how awful of an influence he's having on country music, you know, all of that stuff. However, if you pay attention to that, you'll know that there's one thing there that I didn't mention.
Well, Morgan Wallen is once again trending, this time after a video has surfaced of him using the N-word.
In January 2021, Morgan Wallen was caught using the N-word, and that should have been the end of his career. But not only did Morgan Wallen's career survive after that, but he ended up becoming even more popular than he ever had been, and that may have actually contributed to it. The point I was making was that even if you put the whole N-word thing aside, which admittedly is very hard for certain people to do, then Morgan Wallen is still overwhelmingly a force for bad in the world of music. And thus all the more so if you don't put it aside. When there's a Wikipedia subheading which says, it truly shows how terrible it is that this person is so ridiculously successful. At least if someone good was successful, you'd understand it. But when Morgan Wallen has turned into one of the most mediocre to bad country singers we've ever had, it becomes totally inexcusable. I could go on, but this whole conversation is kind of miserable, so I think it's better I stop it. If you want to know my thoughts on the song, just know that I don't like it, that Tate McRae is only here to get it to number one, that they have no vocal chemistry whatsoever, that it's a nothing song about nothing that makes me feel nothing on the inside, and that it's about time for this song to leave the top 20, so admittedly I highly doubt that this will happen. Depending on how many bad songs make the year-end chart, I'm probably going to have to talk about this song again in my worst list. And if I do that, then I'll give the song a more detailed analysis, but for now, this song is not worth my time. Alright, I know I'm trying to be a bit positive about the way music is going right now, and I definitely will get to that, but I'm sorry, I just cannot stand this band at all.
Listen, cause I'm preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? All I can think of, every drop I drink up. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop.
I really do not like the fact that I have to put two songs which are part of the movement in popular music this year that I not only respect, but respect more than anything else on the charts right now. 2025 thus far has been kind of like 2023 again. We started off with chart stagnation, then Morgan Wallen dropped a 3 trillion year long album that everyone hated, that filled up the charts anyway, and it seemed like popular music was culturally dead, but then there was a film that came along, and a bunch of soundtracks from it filled up the charts, one of which became one of the biggest songs of the year, and suddenly popular culture was alive again, and people were talking about music that was actually on the charts again. Now all we need is right-wing country music topping the Hot 100, and then we'll be complete. But anyway, the sudden popularity of the Barbie movie, particularly the sudden popularity of Dance the Night by Dua Lipa, sent a lightning bolt of energy into the charts that made 2023's otherwise dull pop scene suddenly overnight become extremely exciting and vibrant. And that is what K-pop Demon Hunters is doing right now, but times a million.
Why does it feel right every time I let you in? Why does it feel like?
K-pop Demon Hunters has very quickly become one of the biggest cultural phenomena of the current decade. I'm sure people remember this many decades from now as one of the biggest cultural moments of the 2020s. And I absolutely love every song from the film that was by Huntrix. Such Boys, on the other hand, are a different story. I find their aesthetic incredibly obnoxious. I'm pretty sure that that's how it was intentionally designed, but I still feel that when I hear their songs. I know a lot of people can enjoy them, but that's not for me. I do not like these songs at all. Though I definitely do respect the fact that K-pop Demon Hunters is absolutely everywhere. I just wish that instead of these two, we had the other two Huntrix songs here instead, because they're way better. As for the Huntrix songs which did make this ranking, we'll get to those later on in this video, but for now, let's move on to the bad tier.
When I'm meant to be like sleeping and cocaine.
I never let my heart go all the way. Every time I try, I just hit the brakes.
Depending on how you interpret this song's lyrics, this is either a song about how Morgan Wallen is unable to emotionally connect with anyone because he's too caught up over a breakup he once had, or it's about how he's actively choosing not to get too committed to a relationship because he's still hoping that that one ex he has will come back to him in the end. And I am not inclined to be charitable to Morgan Wallen, so I'm going to go with the latter every time I listen to this. And the existence of the first interpretation is the only reason why this is in the bad tier and not the terrible tier. Because if that first interpretation did not exist, then this would be the absolute worst song he's ever made. It has all the whininess and toxicity of all those emo rap songs from the year that shall not be named. Except that this is a country song, so it becomes emo country for some reason. I really hope that's not a thing. See how country and trap rap don't mix? You should be glad that this song is in a playful tone and not a straightforward one, because there are plenty of lines in this song that absolutely disgust me. The fact that she's singing about how she's attracted to negative character traits within men is kind of reprehensible in a way. You should be glad it's in a playful tone, otherwise I'd be a lot harsher on this.
I don't care, and it feels so good to say I swear that I don't care.
I get it. Way you got me all in my head.
Daisies by Justin Bieber is kind of frustrating because the instrumental is pretty good and the vocal melody is pretty good and the lyrics are fine, but it's being sung by the most boring big name in music that we had in the past 15 years. There is a good song in there, but it's being held back hard by the fact that it's a Justin Bieber song. If anyone else covered this and made it way better, this would be a lot higher, maybe like 5 spots higher. But unfortunately, we live in the timeline where Justin Bieber made this song, so it's in the meh tier. So remember that time when I said this?
I really hope she has some good songs on her next album, though judging by what we have so far, I haven't exactly got all that much to hope for.
Well, when I listened to the album, all my worst fears about it were true, but it was also way better than I thought it was going to be.
When did you get high? All of a sudden I could look you up and down all day.
Don't get me wrong, Sabrina Carpenter's new album is nowhere near as good as her 2024 material. And there are a lot of tracks on that album that I'm not a fan of at all. And the good ones are nowhere near as good as the 2024 highlights. Nonetheless, I still think it's a pretty decent album. Not the best album, but not the worst one either. She is definitely still Sabrina Carpenter though.
I get wet at the thought of you. Being a responsible guy.
Over the past 2 years, Sabrina Carpenter has definitely demonstrated that she is capable of making music that sounds really, really good. However, there's a certain other trend that occurs within her music, that being the sexual TMI. She has a lot of lines like these in her songs.
I might change your contact, it has a huge North Pole. And when you're coming down the chimney, oh, it feels so good. I need a Charles Dickens. I'm talking opposite of small, I'm talking big snowballs. You got a new toy from me, I'm out here trimming the tree. So much to shave and lipstick to reapply. My openings are super tight. Congratulations on your new improvements. I bet your light rod's like bigger than Zeus is. And I bet we both arrive at the same time. And I bet the thermostat set at 6'9".
Basically, Sabrina Carpenter's songs tend to have very dirty, explicit metaphors in her songs. They can often be a bit much for her songs, and Tears takes it to a whole new level.
I get wet for you. Tears run down my thighs.
In her other songs, these lines are usually scattered around in the verses, but here, not only is it in the chorus, but it's the entire premise of the song. The entire song is centered around this metaphor, and it does not go well at all with a song this upbeat pop sounding. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of those Sus remix songs that were big a few years ago. They'd basically take a random pop song that was big at the time and parodied it with a bunch of lyrics referring to homosexual intercourse, and the humour of the whole thing was centered around the juxtaposition between the perfectly normal sounding song with the extremely dirty lyrics. Meanwhile, with Sabrina Carpenter's songs, it played completely straight, pun most assuredly intended. So it just ends up becoming extremely awkward to listen to. While the song does sound pretty amazing, and it definitely gives me hope that she can continue making songs that sound amazing, the lyrics really hold this song back from being in the...
I'm in district in the chain. Certify, you know I'm gang, 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 gang.
Wait, no, there must be some mistake. What's this doing here?
Everything's still pretty much the same round here.
Okay. So, you're telling me that there's a song on Morgan Wallen's new album that out of nowhere became a sleeper hit called I Got Better, and it's actually good? How on earth is this possible?
Swear it was like I'll be damned. I'm finally back to being who I am.
I Got Better by Morgan Wallen is actually a legitimately good song. I can't believe I'm saying this, but there is a song on his album this year that I like. I guess every album he makes has to have at least one good song in it for some reason. But anyway, the instrumental sounds amazing, the lyrics are pretty good, being about how he finally got out of a relationship that wasn't working for him at all. And is it just me, but does the melody in the instrumental sound a tiny bit familiar? By the way, my 2012 best list will likely be the next video after this one, but for now let's continue on with the season.
She said take your time, what's the rush? I said baby I'm a dog.
I have not gone out of my way to listen to this song once since I made my summer ranking. That's not because this song has shrunk on me at all, as you can see it's still in the good tier. Rather it's because this song was more useful back when it was a breath of fresh air on an otherwise boring top 20. But now the top 20 is a lot more interesting than it used to be. I don't really have any use for this anymore, so I'm kind of ready for this to take an exit.
Make the mundane a masterpiece.
You seem to be getting very hysterical about this song, so I think it's time for us to talk about it, shouldn't we?
Take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to the dead and buried.
I've heard a lot of people say they don't like this song, and to be honest, I kind of understand why. After all, it's not exactly the most sonically exciting song, it's not the most original song in the world. It's nothing special, to be honest. Nonetheless, I feel like people have been overreacting to this song hard. I mean, I've seriously seen people calling this Christian nationalist propaganda. Now, let me get this straight. I understand if you're frustrated about the political climate right now. I'm sure we all are. And I totally get why someone would prefer to take it out on a song that's annoying, that's big at the time, that people hate. But this is not Christian propaganda. It is not religious propaganda. It's just a love song that uses religious imagery. If anything, there's lines in this song that could be considered anti-Christian or anti-religious.
The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found.
So the fact that people try to portray this song as religious propaganda is just absurd. If you want to make fun of some lines in this song, then go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Just don't try and complain that this song is something that it's not. But enough about these stuff. It's time for me to talk about the song that I actually absolutely love, and there are 10 of them, and I'm really excited for this. Let's get into it.
I don't like it. I love it, love it, love it. Uh-oh. So good it hurts.
Just to clarify, I still think that Beautiful Things by Benson Boone is an absolutely amazing song.
These beautiful things that I've got, please stay.
Every time I listen to Beautiful Things by Benson Boone, it takes me on an absolutely immense emotional journey that I can't exactly put into words all that much. While his singing on the chorus is a bit much for me and for plenty of other people as well, I can definitely appreciate the complexity of this song and how amazing it is to listen to. Nonetheless, I completely understand why people may dislike it, and it's for that reason that it's only at the bottom of the excellent tier. Benson Boone's paranoia about him losing all the beautiful things in his life is something that has been able to relate to me so much in recent years, and I am so glad that this song exists.
I don't wanna lose control.
Trying every day when I hold my breath. Oh, never mind, okay. Okay, I'm sure you're sick and tired of hearing me talk about 2024 leftovers, which I choose to continue talking about for artistic reasons. But I'm done with that for now. Time to talk about something brand new.
And oh, it's hard to say you, but I wish you were right here. Oh, it's hard to leave you when I get you everywhere.
The first time I heard Love Me Not by Raven Lene, I found it pretty annoying. The vocals reminded me an awful lot of that You Got Me Begging You for Birdseed song from 2008. But the more I heard it and heard it and heard it again, the more I realised it is absolutely incredible and I love everything about it.
Soon as you leave me, we always lose connection. It's getting messy, I feel your affection.
Raven Lene sings in an absolutely beautiful, cute, pitched up way, and it's so nice and refreshing to hear vocals this unique and polished on the charts. I am pretty sure that it was this that paved the way for Olivia Dean to break out several months later. As to the lyrics, they're a pretty standard set of lines about a relationship that's constantly going on and off.
He loves me now, he loves me, he holds me tight, then lets me go.
But what I think makes this particularly special is that she seems like, even though it's on and off all the time, she just seems to take immense comfort in the fact that just because things aren't going right now, that doesn't mean that that will always be the case, and that things are always inevitably going to get better at some point in the future.
At the end of the story, you're holding me tight. I don't need to worry, am I out of and oh, it's hard to see you, but I wish you were right here. Oh, it's hard to leave you when I get you everywhere.
And that is a sentiment that truly perfects the song and enabled it to grow on me so much. And speaking of songs which grew on me immensely, for the longest time, I adamantly refused to listen to this song. I just dismissed it as some meaningless rubbish that was clogging up the charts because something had to be there. And then I went and listened to it. Let me explain.
I don't wanna get undressed for a new person all over again.
Okay, so picture this. It's around May of this current year, 2025, and I'm looking through the Billboard charts, and what do I see? I see a song rising the charts by a guy named Somber, as in S-O-M-B-R, and I'm like, that is not a name of someone on the charts, that is a gamer tag. And we all know what happened the last time there was someone on the charts whose name was a gamer tag, right?
In the back of my mind, you died. And I didn't.
Yeah, he went and carried out the song's lyrics in real life and murdered someone. Great stuff. But anyway, that was only half the problem, and admittedly the lesser half, because the title of the song is Undressed. U-N-D-R-E-S-S-E-D. Do you know the last time that I heard of a song with that title? Because believe me, you are not gonna like this one.
Consider this a sequel to my top 20 worst hits of the 2010s video, but this time, a song doesn't have to end up on one of Billboard's year-end Hot 100 lists to qualify.
At the end of 2023, the double agent released his last video ever, which was a countdown of the top 20 worst almost hits of the 2010s. It's a video that I absolutely love, have tons to say about, and would strongly recommend that you check it out. But one of the songs he talked about in the video was this. This is Undressed by Kim Cesarian, also known as one of the worst songs of last decade. If your ears aren't already bleeding, then you won't know why this song is bad, but it's just one of the worst songs I've ever heard. Subtle. But anyway, you can tell exactly why I would feel repulsed by the idea of a song with that title by someone with that name. Eventually, however, the time came for me to make this video, and unfortunately, I had to be tasked with the unenviable task of listening to the song that I had so dreaded listening to for years. And by years, I mean months, but it felt like years anyway. But anyway, I put the song on expecting the worst, and then I heard this. I didn't want to believe what my ears were hearing, but the song was good. It had a legitimately good bass line, a legitimately good groove, and incredibly catchy melodies. The song sounded legitimately good, but what really pushed this song up a notch, and what really made me go back to it again and again, were the lyrics, because wow, these lyrics are absolutely amazing. They're basically describing all the ugly, unsayable thoughts that a guy would generally have after a process of a breakup. And it hits very hard.
I don't wanna get undressed for a new person all over again. I don't wanna kiss someone else's neck and have to pretend it's yours instead. There's nothing worse than seeing your lover moving on while you still suffer.
And then there's this line which a lot of people aren't really a fan of, but it's my favourite line of the entire song.
And I don't wanna learn another set. I don't want the children of another man to have the eyes of the girl I won't forget.
Wow, generally incredible song that is. Anyway, now it's time to move on to the next one.
If the world was ending, I'd wanna be next to you.
This is currently projected to be the biggest song of 2025, and while I absolutely love this song, I do not think it deserved that title. I'm not sure what does deserve the title, but it's almost certainly not this song on the end of last year. Though, if you want to talk about the most iconic moments in music of 2025...
You came at a bad time.
So here we have it, everyone, the raison d'etre of this season. Why is K-pop Demon Hunters getting so big out of nowhere? Why are so many of its songs on the charts? Why is this film so absolutely everywhere? Well, believe it or not, I actually have an answer for you. Let's take a look.
Knocking you out like a lullaby. Hear that sound ringing in your mind. Better sit down for the show, 'cause I'm gonna show you.
K-pop Demon Hunters is one of the biggest cultural moments of the 2020s decade. I'm completely serious when I say this, but this film, which was the biggest Netflix film of all time, became one of the biggest cultural moments of the entire decade. Not only did the film become absolutely everywhere to the point where it's even been put in cinemas in some parts of the world, but pretty much every song from the film has charted extremely high. Now, you might think this is obvious. After all, it's just another film. But what was it that caused this film to do so well? Was it just luck? Well, no, it was actually for a much more sophisticated reason. You see, I have one very simple reason as to why K-pop Demon Hunters got so big, and the reason is so simple that I can say it in just one sentence. So here you go. K-pop Demon Hunters is the best Disney movie that Disney never made. Let me explain.
Tale as old as time.
Just to be clear, when I say that K-pop Demon Hunters is the best Disney movie that Disney never made, I'm not talking about the whole Disney princess or villain or cartoon villain or whatever other Disney trope you want to talk about. No, when I say it's the best Disney movie that Disney never made, I'm talking about a certain other aspect of Disney, that being their portrayal of different cultures all around the world in their films. Originally, they only portrayed cultures from a western part of the world, but over time in recent years, they've branched out into all sorts of corners of the world. From sub-Saharan Africa in Lion King, to Latin America in Encanto, to the Middle East in Aladdin, to China in Mulan, to all sorts of different parts of the world. While these portrayals weren't always the most accurate or the most respectful, especially when they first started doing this, they've still become extremely compelling for audiences all around the world. That being said, though, they always portrayed quite an antiquated, old-fashioned view of the world in certain ways. Because of this, there's always been this untapped market for if they made a film themed around a certain culture in the world that took things into a significantly more modern tone. And that is where K-pop Demon Hunters comes in. With a plotline heavily centered within South Korean culture, both ancient and modern, just like all those Disney movies, they take a part of the world that's pretty far away from the Western world, but nonetheless all too familiar to it for various reasons, and manage to create a very compelling story out of it. Although I'm not going to discuss the plot of the film in the video unless I have to, considering that I don't want to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it, I just recommend that you go and watch the film yourself. However, that's only the first reason why this film got so immensely popular. There is a second reason, and I don't need to explain this one because someone else already made a video about it.
Never thought I would say out loud, but an animated K-pop movie just schooled Hollywood on how to write women by letting them...
Basically, in the past decade, Disney and other film companies have been very preachy with how they portray women in their films. Instead of portraying them as actual, normal, everyday people that you see every day, they portray them as unrealistic girl bosses. And this is not an accurate representation of what everyday women are like at all. If you want an example of this, then look no further than the absolutely awful Disney Snow White remake that came out earlier this year. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that the Snow White remake is everything wrong with modern Disney. From what I just said before to the sheer artlessness of it being a remake. And following on from that, K-pop Demon Hunters is everything that modern Disney should have been. Between its modernising of the foreign culture concept and its far more relatable portrayal of women, K-pop Demon Hunters succeeded where Snow White 2025 failed absolutely miserable. And in my opinion, that is why K-pop Demon Hunters became so ridiculously successful. And the reason why its songs are on the charts is simply because the film is so popular that its songs actually managed to escape from the realm of the film and enter into the realm of the charts. However, you might have noticed that I've spent this entire time talking about the film. What about the songs from it? Well, as I mentioned earlier, while I'm not that big of a fan of the songs from Soulja Boys, I absolutely love every song that Huntrix made. In this segment, I'm talking about the song How It's Done, and you may notice I don't really have that much to say about it. It's basically just a setup for the group. It may be their weakest song, but the weakest song from Huntrix is still absolutely incredible. If you want a song from Huntrix that I absolutely love genuinely even more so, then we'll take a look at the film's absolute biggest hit.
I was a ghost, I was alone.
I am legitimately shocked that this isn't my number one for this ranking, but somehow this season is so good that there are 3 songs even better than it, because if there was one song that deserves to be at the top of this ranking, it is this one, definitely. Golden by Huntrix is not only the signature song for one of my favourite cultural moments of the current decade, but this is also one of the best number 1 hits of that decade. The song's super infectious 6/8 thudding melody reminds me a lot of Run Away With Me by Carly Rae Jepsen, which is one of the best songs ever made, maybe even the best. And not only does the song have that instrumental, but it also has an extremely catchy melody that is impossible for me not to sing along to. It soars higher and higher in a way that I can only describe as out of this world. It is definitely one of my favourite listening experiences to ever hit the charts. And then there's the lyrics, which make this song even better. I first heard this song before I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, and even before I watched it, I knew that this song was going to have an absolutely immense and beautiful presence in that film. And after I watched it, I can only say that I was right.
Waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me. Put these patterns all in the past now, and finally live like the girl they all see.
A well-written song about finally discovering your inner potential is one thing, but a well-written song about finally discovering your inner potential that sounds the way this song does and is as catchy as the way this song does is something the likes of which we haven't seen on the charts since Into You by Ariana Grande, and it is definitely one of my favourite hit songs of 2025. More on that on the best list.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jay Dale's got a history.
Yes, this is still here, and yes, this is still an amazing song. Although I don't listen to this song much because I kind of listened to it a lot last year, this is still an absolutely incredible idea for a song that's executed almost flawlessly. I have no idea how anyone could ever top this, and yet not only was it topped in this ranking, but it was topped by the exact same person. You know, a lot of people often like to make fun of the whole Stomp Clap Hey revival, but I feel like making fun of it is a bit ridiculous because the original Stomp Clap Hey trend was one of the best trends of the early 2010s. And the intro to the song is very reminiscent of the absolute best songs among that genre. And so is the song itself, even more so.
I need some good news. Sitting here sipping on cold fruit. Nobody knows what I'm going through.
I don't think it will come as a surprise to you that the 2020s decade hasn't exactly been the most pleasant decade to live through, and especially not the current year 2025. And because of that, a song like this has been long overdue. But at last, finally, the song is here. Good News by Shabuzi is one of the best hit songs of 2025, simply because it manages to take how we've all been feeling this year and make it absolutely relatable. Sure, we've long overdone this decade so much that none of us are left with any expectation of the world, because if we have any, then we're only going to set up to be disappointed, but we all have that hope down there that one day things will turn out for the better. And I hope, as much as all of us do, that we will eventually improve and the world will end up going in a much better direction again one day. And this song is filled with so many incredibly relatable lines.
Drown my sons, but they learn to swim. Head in a bottle, put my heart in a case. Nobody knows what I'm going through, but the devil will walk in my shoes.
Although I haven't gone out of my way to listen to this song myself, that's only because I'm generally listening to songs for escapism at the moment. Though if that ever were to change, then I know exactly which song I'd be returning to.
They say it gets darker when you're coming on door. Still looking for the right at the end of my road.
This is another one of those songs that I'm going to be talking about a lot more later on. So for now, I thought I'd let you know that there is actually a song which is in this top 20 that is not only even better than this, but actually made it into the...
This is the best song ever made in the world. This is the best song ever made in the world.
So here's the thing about Golden. It is an absolutely incredible song. However, there is one slight weakness to it, which is not a weakness, it's just that. The song Golden is essentially about discovering your inner potential and finally unlocking it. However, as amazing as that is, in reality, things are a lot more complicated than that. And my number one song for this season is a perfect reflection of that complex reality.
Nothing but the truth now. Nothing but the proof of what I am.
In order to fully give an analysis of this song, I will have to reference the plotline of this film. Therefore, if you have not seen this film before, then please skip 60 seconds to the right now. Have you done that? Okay, good. So, in Golden, the main character of K-pop Demon Hunters, who is called Rumi, says this.
Put these patterns all in the past now, and finally live like the girl they all see.
Basically, even though Rumi is a member of Huntrix, which is a group of demon hunters, she is half demon herself, and because of this she has various patterns on her arms. Despite this, she has to conceal all of her patterns, since she is part of a demon hunting group. However, during the film it becomes increasingly difficult for her to hide these patterns, and she wages a deep struggle within herself to overcome them. However, towards the end of the film, when you expect her to finally win, eventually she embraces the patterns for what they are, a core part of who she really is.
Came from patterns I'm ashamed of, things that even I don't understand. I try to fix it, I try to fight it. My head was twisted, my heart divided, my lies all collided.
It is an extremely moving song. However, I feel like the song works equally well, if not more so, when you take it out of its context. When it becomes a song about finally taking a part of you that you have always hated and instead embracing it as part of who you are.
I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony, my voice without the lies. This is what it sounds like.
Every time I listen to that chorus, I get super emotional. There are very few songs that hit me in the core as much as this one does.
What's underneath? I'll find your harmony. The song we couldn't write. This is what it sounds like.
Stop the song!
The way how the song builds over and over again, from being very quiet and guilty at the beginning, to being slightly more confident in the first chorus, to suddenly rising in a very anthemic way into the second verse and leading all the way up into the absolutely incredible second chorus, is just way too effective at conveying what it needs to do.
So we were cowards, so we were liars, so we're not heroes, we're still survivors.
The song just builds and builds, and then we get the second chorus, which had the same words as the first one, but said far more anthemically, and thus far more confidently.
We broke into a million pieces and we can't go back, but now we're seeing all the beauty in the broken glass.
All of this comes together to produce an absolutely amazing song, and even though unfortunately it doesn't look like this will be making the year-end list, it still gets the award as my personal favourite song that was released in the entire year of 2025, and thus easily the best song of autumn 2025.
This is what it sounds like.
So that's autumn 2025. We have 3 terrible songs, 2 bad songs, 1 mess song, 1 decent song, 3 good songs, 9 excellent songs, and 1 exceptional song. Adding all those up gives us a score of 70 out of 100, a significant improvement over the 63 out of 100 of last season, and way better cultural relevance for popular music.